This video is brought to you by mywayteaching.com.
Here, from the vector A, this vector A is lying here. We draw a perpendicular line. You can see this dotted lines, isn't it? So we draw this perpendicular lines to this coordinate axis y as well as to the coordinate axis x to get the vectors a1 and a2, so that we can write what we can write. Yes, we can write a1 plus a2 is equal to vector a. Since a1 is parallel to I cap and a2 is parallel to j cap, we have, isn't it, this a1 is parallel to I cap and this a2 is parallel to j cap. So we can write this a1 as ax into I cap. Okay, and we can write this a2 as ay into j cap, where ax and ay are real numbers, isn't it? So a is equal to ax into I cap plus ay into j cap. So this ax into I cap and ay into j cap are the components of the vector A that we got after resolution, isn't it? So this one we can see in this figure. See, this vector A is resolved into two components and those components lie along the unit vectors I told you before, and that are represented with ax into I cap and ay into j cap, isn't it? Using simple trigonometry, we can express ax and ay in terms of the magnitude of A and the angle theta, isn't it? We can consider this angle theta, and using this simple trigonometry, we know this ax, we can write it as what? Yes, we can write it as a cos theta. Okay, and this ay, we can write it as a sin theta, isn't it? So we already know a component of a vector can be positive, negative or 0 depending on the value of theta. Now we have two ways to specify a vector A in a plane. One way is, so we have two ways to specify the magnitude. One way is its magnitude A and the direction theta it makes with the x-axis. Okay, that is by using magnitude as well as direction that it makes with the x-axis. And if I consider this components, then we can also represent the vector A using components ax and ay, isn't it? You already saw those two. So here this one, ax, A can be represented using ax into I cap plus ay into j cap, and this ax is represented as a cos theta and ay is represented as a sin theta using simple trigonometry. So these two are the different methods using which we can represent a vector A. Okay. If a theta are given, ax and ay can be obtained by using equation that is written here. Ax is equal to a cos theta and ay is equal to a sin theta, isn't it? If you know the value of a and if we know the value of theta, we can find the value of ax and ay, isn't it? Is that difficult? No, right? When we know two unknowns out of three, we can find the third one. If ax and ay are given, how to find this a and theta? We know the value of ax. You just think we know the value of ax and ay. So now we should find the value of a and theta. How to find this? Yes, we can find that also. We can find the value of ax and ay by, we know ax is equal to what? A cos theta. Ay is equal to what? A sin theta, isn't it? So we know the value of ax and ay. Squaring and adding, we get ax square plus ay square is equal to a square cos square theta plus a square sin square theta, isn't it? So by simple trigonometry, we know that cos square theta plus sin square theta is how much? Yes, that is equal to 1. So from this equation, you just take a square common. We get cos square theta plus sin square theta. So that is equal to a square cos square theta plus sin square theta is 1. So ax square plus ay square. So we know the value of ax and ay. We want a. So we can get the value of a by taking square root of ax square plus ay square. Okay. This is the equation. And now we got the value of a. Then how to find the value of tan theta? Yes, we can find the value of tan theta as ay by ax, and we want theta, so by taking the inverse, we can find theta also. Okay, so this is how we will get the value of theta and a. If we know the value of ax and ay, by squaring and adding, we can get the value of a, and by considering tan theta, we can get the value of theta as well. And if we know the value of a and theta, we can easily find out the value of ax and ay by using the equations, that is ax is equal to a cos theta and ay is equal to a sin theta, isn't it? Yes. So far, we have considered a vector lying in xy plane, isn't it? So the same procedure can be used to resolve a general vector A into three components. Okay, if the vector is in like three dimension, if you consider three dimension, not only plane, then we can resolve vector A along three axes, that is along x-axis, y-axis and z-axis in three dimensions. If you consider alpha, beta, you can see in this figure. See, this is the angle alpha, angle beta and angle gamma are the angles between A and the x, y, z axis respectively, which means alpha is the angle between vector A and x-axis. You can see in this figure. Beta is the angle between vector A and y-axis. And gamma is the angle between vector A and z-axis. Okay, you can see in this figure once again you'll get an idea about alpha, beta and gamma. Okay, so now we can write Ax as what? Yes, we can write Ax as A cos alpha, Ay as A cos beta, Az as A cos gamma. So using simple trigonometry, we can write the component Ax as A cos alpha, the component Ay as A cos beta, and the component Az as A cos gamma, isn't it? Yes. Then we can get the magnitude of A by considering the equation Okay, the magnitude of A can be represented by considering the equation that is square root of ax square plus ay square plus az square in 3 dimensions. In 2 dimensions, it was like a is equal to square root of ax square plus ay square. So in 3 dimensions, we are adding extra the component az, isn't it? Yes. Then the position vector r can be represented as x into I cap plus y into j cap plus z into k cap. So the position vector we can represent it using r is equal to x into I cap and y into j cap plus z into k cap. And this x, y, z are the components of R. So R is a position vector. What about this x, y, z? Yes, this x, y, z are the components of R. Components of R along x, y and z axis respectively. So if you want to resolve the vector in 3 dimensions, or if it is a 3-dimensional vector, then vector A can be resolved along x-axis, y-axis and z-axis, and we can consider the angle alpha, beta and gamma, where alpha is the angle between vector A and x-axis, and beta is the angle between vector A and y-axis, and gamma is the vector y between A and z-axis. So we can represent ax, ay, az by simple trigonometry, where ax is equal to a cos alpha, ay is equal to a cos beta and az is equal to a cos gamma. We can get the magnitude of A by considering square root of ax, by considering the square root of ax square, ay square and az square. Okay.